What if a biblical character existed who was said to be both king and priest, a figure shrouded in mystery and intrigue, much like Jesus Christ himself? This character is Melchizedek, the king of Salem. Dive into the depths of biblical lore, and you'll find Melchizedek, a figure who stands apart from the rest. He's not just a king, he's also a priest, and not of any ordinary deity, but of the Most High God. His story is woven into the ancient scriptures, yet much about him remains an enigma. His existence is shrouded in mystery, and his narrative stirs up more questions than answers. Who was he? Where did he come from? What made him so unique? Melchizedek, the king of Salem, is a character who fascinates and confounds in equal measure. His roles, both as a king and a priest, set him apart, echoing another seminal figure in biblical history, Jesus Christ. The book of Melchizedek and the life of Jesus Christ are filled with parallels. Let's delve into these similarities. Melchizedek, a figure of mystery, a king and a priest, but who exactly was he? Delving into the pages of the Bible, we find Melchizedek emerging in the book of Genesis. He's not just any character, he's a king, the king of Salem to be precise, but that's not all. Melchizedek also holds the esteemed position of a priest of the Most High God. Now that's an interesting combination, isn't it? A royal figure embodying the divine, a king and a priest wrapped into one. Let's rewind a bit and take a look at one of Melchizedek's most significant interactions. It takes place with none other than Abraham, the patriarch of the Israelites. After Abraham's victorious return from a fierce battle, Melchizedek appears, seemingly out of nowhere. He brings out bread and wine, blesses Abraham, and in return, Abraham gives him a tenth of everything. This scene is not only striking but also deeply symbolic. Bread and wine, as we know, are elements that later become central in Christian tradition. But here's where things get even more fascinating. Melchizedek, despite his significant role and interaction with Abraham, only appears this one time in the Old Testament. His existence, his origins, his lineage, they're all shrouded in mystery. The Bible doesn't provide a genealogy, a common feature for significant figures. This absence makes Melchizedek's character all the more intriguing and enigmatic, yet even within this mystery we find a parallel. A figure who, like Melchizedek, was both a king and a priest. A figure who also used bread and wine in a significant symbolic act. That figure is Jesus Christ. In the New Testament, Jesus is referred to as a priest in the order of Melchizedek. This reference ties these two figures together, linking the Old Testament with the New and deepening the mystery around Melchizedek's character. Melchizedek's life is shrouded in mystery, a figure who was both king and priest, much like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, referred to as the King of Kings, a priest in the order of Melchizedek, but what does this mean? Let's delve deeper into this question. Jesus Christ, a name that resonates throughout the world, representing a symbol of love, hope, and redemption. His life, teachings, and sacrifices have been at the heart of Christian faith for over 2,000 years. But there is another layer to his identity, one that connects him to Melchizedek, the king of Salem, a figure shrouded in mystery and divine significance. In the New Testament, Jesus is often referred to as both a king and a priest. Now, this dual role is not a common occurrence. The king represented the temporal power, the ruler of the land, while the priest was a spiritual leader, a mediator between God and the people. This combination of roles reflects the unique position that Jesus held. He wasn't just a spiritual leader or a temporal ruler, but rather he embodied both roles, symbolizing his divine authority and purpose. The title King of Kings was a testament to his sovereignty over all earthly rulers, while his priesthood in the order of Melchizedek was a confirmation of his spiritual authority, his role as a mediator between God and mankind. The book of Hebrews in the New Testament goes into great detail about this, stating that Jesus, like Melchizedek, is a priest forever. This connection between Jesus and Melchizedek paints a fascinating picture, showing the depth and complexity of Jesus' role and mission. The life of Jesus Christ, filled with teachings of love, forgiveness, and salvation, mirrors the life of Melchizedek in many ways. Both were kings, both were priests, and both were betrayed. While Melchizedek was betrayed by Samael, Jesus was betrayed by one of his own disciples, Judas. These parallels further strengthen the connection between these two figures. Jesus Christ, a figure revered and followed by many, held titles similar to Melchizedek, making their comparison even more intriguing. This exploration of their lives and roles provides a deeper understanding of their significance and the profound impact they've had on faith and spirituality. Melchizedek and Jesus Christ, two figures with similar roles, yet their lives were centuries apart. How do they compare? Let's start with their roles as kings and priests. Melchizedek, known as the King of Salem, was also a priest of the Most High God. He was a figure of authority and spiritual leadership, much like Jesus Christ, who is often referred to as the King of Kings and the High Priest. Both of them transcended the typical roles of a king or a priest, embodying a dual role that placed them in positions of religious and political leadership. Now let's look at their interactions with others. Melchizedek was known for his encounter with Abraham, blessing him and receiving tithes from him. This interaction showed his authority and respect among his contemporaries. On the other hand, Jesus Christ interacted with a wide range of individuals, from the poor and the sick to the powerful and the influential. His interactions were often characterized by compassion and teachings, demonstrating his role as a spiritual leader. Let's now delve into their significance in Christian theology. Melchizedek is a figure shrouded in mystery, appearing briefly in the Old Testament, yet his priesthood is mentioned again in the New Testament as resembling that of Christ. This makes him a precursor to Christ, setting the stage for the latter's arrival. Jesus Christ, on the other hand, is central to Christian theology, believed to be the Son of God who came to earth to save humanity. His life, death, and resurrection are fundamental to Christian beliefs and practices, marking him as the ultimate priest and king. In comparing Melchizedek and Jesus Christ, we find intriguing parallels and significant differences that shed light on their unique roles in biblical history. While Melchizedek's brief appearance and enigmatic priesthood set the tone for a greater revelation, Jesus Christ's life and ministry brought fulfillment to these initial hints, establishing a new covenant and forever changing the course of religious history. What can we learn from these two biblical figures and their comparisons? As we've journeyed through this intriguing narrative, we've unearthed profound similarities and contrasts between Melchizedek, the King of Salem, and Jesus Christ. Both figures, each holding the title of King of Kings in their own right, carry significant weight in biblical history. Melchizedek's life was marked by a betrayal from Samael, a parallel to Satan's betrayal of Jesus Christ's servants. These betrayals serve as potent reminders of the power struggles and spiritual warfare inherent in their narratives. Yet the differences are as compelling as the similarities. Melchizedek, while a king, was a mortal man, whereas Jesus Christ is worshipped as the divine Son of God. This comparison has offered us rich insights into the nature of leadership, sacrifice, and spirituality in biblical times. In the end, the life of Melchizedek and Jesus Christ serve as fascinating studies in biblical history, each offering unique insights and lessons for us to ponder upon.